Okay, I'm going to do this tutorial on creating a WordPress website that you can test out on your own computer and do everything you would need to do to develop WordPress themes. And we're going to start by doing an installation of WordPress. We're going to use Microsoft's Web Matrix 2. And in order to do that, you need to install Web Matrix 2. It only installs on Windows, but it is free. And it comes with everything you need to be able to develop for all kinds of types of projects. And you want to look at the app gallery to see some of the things that you have at your disposal. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that, and you can see some of the things they have in the web gallery. Just do a search, and you see there's WordPress on there, .NET Nuke, Joomla, etc. All kinds of things that you have at your disposal. Okay, so I'm going to do it slightly differently than the way they have it on there. I'm going to go to WordPress.org, and you want to go to WordPress.org, and you want to download the WordPress 3.5.1 or whatever the latest version is. It's going to be a zip file, and it's going to open it into your folder. And so there it is. It's in my downloads, and I'm going to right-click on here, and I'm going to choose Extract All. Okay, now I've already found the place I'm going to put it. It's in my student folder, and I'm just going to extract to that. Okay, and yeah, sure, I'm just going to extract over what I had, and I'm going to just do this for the next conflict, so we replace everything on here. Sorry, I'd already done this once, so I'm trying it again. Okay, it takes a while to extract it all. While we're doing that, we're going to do what's called the famous 5-minute install. Okay, so you might want to be timing me. At this point, I already installed Web Matrix. It's not the 5-minute Web Matrix and WordPress install. It's just the 5-minute install. Now, I have my folder here. Looks like it's done installing that. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to go back and I want to click. I'm going to basically take that WordPress site. I'm going to turn it into a server site. So I'm going to take a folder and I'm going to turn that as like a website, and it's going to simulate like this is an online server. So I click Folder as Site, and now I want to go to the place where I did my student folder. Notice it says WordPress right here. I open it up, and I've got some information here, and this is what I want to select, that folder. Okay. Once it opens, it's going to open it up the site in just a moment, and you're going to see some of the options that you have available. And once you do, what you want to do is you want to make sure, and this is if you're at home and you've installed all of this, you probably have PHP enabled, but you might want to just double check, click on settings, and make sure it says enable PHP. And then it just uses whatever. On here, 5.3. That's okay. This is going to work. So now notice it says HTTP localhost, whatever. So that's the site there. There's the WordPress. Okay, so that's all set up right. Now, the next thing we need to do is create a database. So we click on databases. So I click it. And now I'm going to create a new database. Now I already have some databases here, so I'm going to have to create a new one and give it a new name. So this has to be a MySQL database. So I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to give it a name. Okay, and so I'm going to give it my new project. New WordPress project. Give it whatever name you want, and I would name the database based on your project. So I did a project for a site called Bleeding Thorn. So I called the database like BT WordPress or WordPress-BT or whatever. You don't want to just give it WordPress if it's going to be a live site, because people might try to be able to hack into a database knowing that that's a common name for it. So you give it just enough information on your database name so that it's not hard to get, or so it's not easy to guess. Username, root. Now this is, you probably set up Web Matrix. You want to match whatever you set it up as. Click Save Password. I have a default one. If you're one of my students, you need to get that password for me. I'll tell you what it is and help you out. Okay. I'm just going to click OK. So when I'm done, under WordPress 25 or whatever they have here, you're going to see that new WordPress project. Now this is a blank database, and we have a database, username, password. So what we're going to do now is we got to configure the website at this point. Now the cool thing here is you can actually do a lot of work straight out of Web Matrix. So if I click on Files, Now I have a list of all my files, and I can actually, I believe I can do editing right in this window. So what I want to focus on is this WP config sample, and this is the one I'm going to want to modify. So I'm gonna basically want to edit WP config sample, and I'm gonna add some things to configure it. So let's just go ahead. I'm gonna see if I can open it in. No, I'll have to just do it out of here. So hold on a second. WP config sample. So I'm going to open that up in a moment. And there's the folder, WordPress, WP config sample. And on here, you're going to see a bunch of files here. Let me close all the other files. Okay, so really, you need to know your database name, your username, and your password. What you set up on Web Matrix is what you're going to put in here. So we're going to go to the database name, and I got to get that. What did I name it? Well, you saw there. Oh, databases. That's why. New WordPress project. Okay, new underscore WordPress project. New underscore WordPress underscore project. Username is root. Okay. Password is going to be whatever password you set on there. I'm going to move this off to the side, and I wonder if I can do this where you can't see it. Okay, and I'm going to choose a file, save as. I'm going to save it as wp-config.php. Get rid of the dash sample. So it's now just wp-config. And now it'll work as a configuration file. And that whole page there was designed to set up your WordPress site. Okay, now we're just about ready to go. I'm going to click on site, and I'm ready to launch it. Okay, so I want to go ahead and I'm going to click restart, and then I want to run that site. Okay, it's successfully restarted it. So I'm just going to copy that address there. I'm going to open up any browser. It should work on any browser. We're going to find out in just a moment. And paste in there, hit enter. Now, we have a problem here, so let's see what I need to do. I'm going to add a WP, and this is the key here. You're going to go to WP admin install.php. Oh, I'm already there. Look at that. Welcome to the famous 5-minute WordPress installation process. Now you're going to give a name for your site title. My new WordPress blog. Now you can set up your own username and password. Okay, so I like to use the username of dev for developer, and then I use whatever my standard password is. And I'll tell you what that is if you pay me lots of money. It's a strong password. See how much better that one is? And they seem to match. There's not a problem there. Email, go ahead and put your email down. So that way, if you have trouble, you can always have stuff reset to there. Uncheck allows search engines to index the site. If you had a live site, you might want to do that if you wanted people to find your site. I don't. I'm just playing around and testing this out. And now you're ready to install. Click the Install WordPress. By the way, you can do this in less than 5 minutes if you're not talking while you're doing it. And so, success. So here it goes. So there's the username, there's the password. Well, sort of. So now click Login, and it's going to take you to the login screen. Now you might want to notice this is wplogin.php. So that's the address when you're ready to log in. Right on here, dev, and then it's the password that I chose. I click Login. I should have checked Remember Me, so I wouldn't have to type that out again. Don't forget it. I've installed WordPress. I'm ready to go. Okay, so we're ready here, and on my next installment, I'll go over what WordPress is like, how you create pages and posts, how to edit, and then we're going to really get to the meat of what we're doing, and that is how do we create a theme, how do we set a theme, but even better, how do we modify and make our own theme?